Welcome back to our Fiber Talk stitching community. Thanks for listening. And today we begin a new chapter and move forward with our regular Wednesday podcast. Hey, welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
And I'm Beth Ellicott.
And you're listening to the midweek version of Fiber Talk, that twice weekly podcast for ground cloth stabbers.
Oh, so we're stabbing?
We're going to stab today. Yes. The paying job has put me in a stabbing mood, so we're going to stab. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. That's
what we're going to do. It's it vents things. Yes. So Beth, thank you. Thank you. New to this. Yay.
Yes. A little nervous, but it'll be fun.
Nothing to be nervous about. We're just talking about stitching. Yep. So, yeah, I really appreciate you doing this with us, and looking forward to working with you. It's going to be a great time.
I look forward to it, too. It'll be great.
Yep. All right, some housekeeping, a ton of housekeeping. Sorry about the long silence there. It just was necessary given the situation, but we're back now, and we will have a regular schedule. So this is a Wednesday podcast, and then we will be back with the Wednesday night live show on YouTube. And I'll send notices for that. And as always, subscribe to YouTube or Instagram. I put the notices of the live shows on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I do not put them on the website, because if I put them on the website, then I send an email to everybody on the list, and with all the emails they get already, it just gets to be too much. So, and every time I've tried it, I see people clicking us off because people just don't want email, and so they'll click us off. So I try to protect that list so it doesn't get bombarded. So if you want to be notified, but Wednesday and Friday night are the live shows. I mean, that's really all you need to know. Subscribe to us on YouTube so that you get the notification before we're ready to start the show. They're always at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Wednesday and Friday nights. So we will be continuing the Wednesday show, which I'm going to take the quarantine out. I'm tired of quarantine, so it's just going to be the Fiber Talk Stitch Hour on Wednesday nights. I'm sick of quarantine. I don't want to say it anymore, so we're taking it out. And then Friday night will be Friday Night Live, as it has been. So we'll have both of those. Now, this Wednesday, we're going to have tonight. You'll hear this during the day if you listen right away on Wednesday, but Wednesday night, Barbara Hudson from Queenstown Sampler Designs will be joining us, because, as you know, we've been working on the Hannah Longstreth thing, and I've been stitching right away with that. I've been making some actual progress, but Barbara has some other samplers that also have Hannah. So she's put three of those together. So we're going to talk a little bit about Hannah Longstreth and my stitching experience with that, but then she has some other Hannahs, and give us some more history on Hannah Longstreth. So it'll be fun Wednesday night. And then I have somebody I'm waiting to hear back from for a guest on Friday night. So, and Friday nights, regular stitchers, guests, Beth did it one time with us. We had a great time with it. Get to show off your work, talk about your stitching. Write to me, Gary at WeTalkFiber.com. If you're interested in doing a Friday night show with us. Doesn't have to be long. You can be on for 15, 20 minutes, or you can be on for the full hour, whatever suits you. It is live and it is video, so you have to be comfortable doing that. But we're just horsing around talking about needlework, so it's not like you have to put a suit on or something to do this thing. So if you're interested, though, write to me. Always looking for guests on Friday night, and the Wednesday night shows will be not always have a guest. Not always. So we'll just see how that plays out. But I really wanted to talk to Barbara Hudson, and she was willing to do it Wednesday night and talk about Hannah. And then Barbara, in her own little way, immediately, as I was talking on the phone to her, started coming up with ideas. Oh, we could talk about this and we could talk about that. Okay, we have a show. So she's great. She's really great. So that's Wednesday. Then Friday night we'll be here 8 o'clock Eastern Time on the YouTube. Now, we have moved the Royal Garden start for those who have purchased their kits, including Beth, right?
My kit is on order. I was late, but I'm hoping mine's coming soon.
Well, I'm sure it is. So we're moving that to the 19th. So 2 o'clock Eastern time in the afternoon, Sunday on July 19 is when we will start Royal Garden. And the reason we're doing that is Debbie Rowley is in the process of setting up a system so she can do online courses. And so you want to keep track of debbiesdesigns.com. You'll want to keep track of that because she's going to start offering online courses. And as
dangerous. Very
no,
dangerous.
No kidding. No kidding. Because she has a lot of them that you don't see in the stores that she teaches with. And all of her new charts, I'll tell you about every one of them. I want one. So she's going to be doing that. Well, this gives her a chance to basically practice. But for us, starting Royal Garden, it gives us a chance to get live instruction from Debbie. Live video instruction from Debbie. So we moved it to the 19th so that could happen because she and her husband Rod are in the process of getting things worked out and tested, and she and I needed to be able to do a little testing. So we'll have time to do that. But if you're interested in doing the Royal Garden, I'm pretty sure, well, I know you can get kits from Kim, so order quickly so that you'll have it by the 19th and have your kit. And then we'll be able to start with instruction from Debbie, which is just going to be fantastic. I mean, the minute she offered that, I jumped on it. Let's go.
That is going to make that so nice to stitch those pieces.
Right.
To have her helping. Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was pretty exciting, and she'll be. We'll have her back several times throughout the process because as people move through the design, there will be other areas where she could, I'm sure, be very helpful. So that's pretty exciting. So that's the 19th at 2 o'clock Eastern. That's a live show on the YouTube channel. So watch for that. And even if you don't, but you're just interested in charted canvas work, you'll learn some things from Debbie, guaranteed. So it's worth tuning in for that. So that's the 19th. Moving, and because we moved that, I'm going to move the start for Dawn to Dusk to August 9. We're going to do August.
So we can finish
Right.
Debbie's piece before we start Dawn to Dusk.
See, you're quick. Yeah. Yeah, because if you can't finish Debbie's piece in 3 weeks, then, what are you doing?
Right.
You're pathetic. Right. Wait, did I say 3 weeks or years?
It's going to be 3 years.
Okay. So, I want to put a little space in there. So August 9, Dawn to Dusk, and you're doing that one too, right?
Oh, yes. I have the stretcher bars ready and waiting. Okay,
so we'll talk about a live show. Maybe Beth and I will just do the live show together. We'll see.
All right, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So August 9th. So plenty of time to Textured Treasures, Karen Dudzinski. Plenty of time to that gives you some time to order from her, but now it has to come from Canada if you order from her. So get on it right away if you think you want to do that. Dawn to Dusk, get on it right away because mail from Canada to here to the States takes a minute. So you'll want to get on it. If you're in Canada, probably it's pretty quick. If you're other parts of the world, you really need to get on it to get your kit in time. But Karen can fix you up. And remember that we have the Fiber Talk version or colorway, which is the Rosy Skies colorway, only done in blue. That Karen put that together for us special. So check that all out. Textured Treasures, Karen Dudzinski, she can fix you up. So that'll be August 9 that we'll be doing that. And let's see, what else we got going on? Well, I wanted to remind people, somebody wrote to me looking forward to seeing me at Sassy Jack's in September. And that caught my eye because Kim has canceled the live event. The September soiree, the 2 live September soiree weekends, those are canceled. But there's still going to be an event. She has a huge event, online event, and Fiber Talk will be part of that. So really a bonus because limited seating and limited number of people for the 2 September soirees. One was sold out and the other was just about sold out. But now that she's opened it up, she can take obviously a whole lot more people. And
so she's opened that? I didn't realize that. This is news to me.
I'm pretty sure she has. Yeah.
Making a note.
Hope I didn't speak out of turn, but I'm pretty sure. Check that out at sassyjackstitchery.com. Because, yeah, she's re-racking that. And so we're going to do a live show as part of that event. Fiber Talk will. Because we were going to do one live from the store. Well, we're just going to do it live online. But you definitely want to check that out. Kim has a ton of stuff planned for that. Activities, I think some Zoom meetings, videos, yeah, the whole shooting match. So it'll be an event to be involved in. So check that out. I hope I didn't speak out of turn. But I'm pretty sure that more people can get involved now than could before.
You're going to be in trouble again.
I know. It won't be the first time or the last. So there you have it. So if you're looking to be there live, you can't. It's not happening. You got to do it online, which is a good thing. And then also, I call your attention. I've been talking about this, and we're going to start doing some things with Krista West at Avlea Mediterranean Embroidery. I just love her work. I think she's a terrific lady, and so you're going to start seeing more and more of that. So check that out. Avlea cross stitch, that Mediterranean flavor. I really love that. And she's got some embroidery things going on, kits, designs, and it's coming up with more stuff. And Kim is carrying the full line. Kim at Sassy Jacks is carrying the full line of Avlea stuff, chart designs, kits, and they're going to do a video. She and Krista are going to do a video soon. And, of course, you can go to WeTalkFiber.com because I've done 2 or 3 shows with Krista. She's just a terrific lady, tremendous talent. So watch for more of that. Really excited about working with Krista. And then now that she and Kim are working together, working with all 3 of us together. But watch for that because I think Krista's just doing some unique things with her designs and the way she sees colors is truly unique. So watch for that too. What else we got?
Sunday show,
Beth Lindsay. Beth Lindsay is a needleworker, and she's the marketing chairman for EGA. And we had versatile stitchers, so we had a good conversation about that. But then she also had an accident at the EGA show last year that caused her a great deal of trouble. And she's struggling now to get use of both arms back and do needlework. So we got to learn about that and learn about some things that she experienced there that might be helpful to people who have repetitive stress type problems. So that was a good discussion. But of course, Beth she's just talented, skilled needleworker, and we just had a great time. So that'll be Sunday, and so looking forward to sharing that with you. Did that several weeks ago. Yes.
That'll be an interesting show. Yep.
She's good.
I'll look forward to listening to that one.
She's good. And as always, for podcasts, the best thing to do is to use the podcast app on your phone. If you have an iPhone, Apple product, it's built right in. There's a podcast app there. You just search for Fiber Talk. It comes up, you subscribe, and then you get the podcast delivered immediately when they get posted. And if you're using Android, most people use Stitcher, which has nothing to do with stitching. I have no idea why they use that name. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But Stitcher is an app, and we're on there, and you can just free app and subscribe to Fiber Talk, and it will come up there. But that's the best way to get those audio podcasts and download them so that you can listen in your car, you can listen while you're out walking, whatever. You don't need to stream them. But that's the best way to do it. So I think I got it all in, didn't I?
I think so. It looks like it.
It only took 15 minutes.
You had a lot to say.
Yes. So, all right. Then we can move on to other things. So first we need to know about you. So Beth volunteered slight twist of the arm, but it wasn't a real hard twist to do this. And we had fun the Friday night show that you did where you showed your stitching. So we should probably learn a little bit about you if we're going to talk to you on a regular basis. So you started stitching as a kid. Later on, what?
Well, the story goes, my sister tells this story. She said she and I are about a year apart. Well, we are exactly a year apart. And we were both given some sort of stamped cross stitch or crewel work. She did a couple of stitches in hers, threw it under the bed, and ran outside and played. And then I did mine. I don't know if I did hers too. So that was about 6 or 8 years old. And I stitched, occasionally. until I got to college. And at college, I heard about counted cross stitch. So I was doing crewel work, some surface embroidery, I was a 70s child. So on your blue jeans, all the embroidery on your blue jeans.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
I did that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
isn't it interesting how that's a thing now?
Oh, it is. I'm fascinated by what people are putting on their clothing. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Then when I was in college, I couldn't go home. I was going to school in Arlington, Texas, and my family lives in Albuquerque. And it was too expensive for me to be flying back and forth. So I'd go stay with my grandmother, and they would do something that I now know is drawn thread embroidery. They would do it with, it looks like bed sheeting, or it's not linen, it's some sort of cotton. And they would pull out the threads and then do needle lace weaving in the open spaces. They would make little, and they would use that for altar cloths at the church. And my grandmother only spoke Spanish, but my great aunts spoke a little bit of English. And at that point in time, I spoke a little bit of Spanish. So one time I asked my
That's
mom,
a group. Now that's a group.
We sat together, and they
a lot of hand waving there.
It was great fun. I remember that afternoon where they patiently taught me how to pick out the threads and weave them in, and how to do that type of needlework.
Uh-huh.
And
so it wasn't hanger, it wasn't drawn thread, it was kind of a hybrid?
It was drawn thread where in fact, I just picked something up in an estate sale that looks exactly like it, where you pull the threads out, and then, where you have when you do hanger, you have those open. Right. Then you wove something, made a little decoration in like a corner, so it was, and, they made beautiful things with what they had.
And so it wasn't go getting a half fat quarter of linen or something. It was just cloth that they had, huh?
It was just what they had. My mom said she used to use the flour sacks, which I would think would be awfully thick. Yeah. I'm not going to argue with my mother about that, but she said they just used whatever they had, and they did beautiful work, just beautiful work. And they were in their 70s, so seeing was a little hard for them at that point. But that was my first doing anything where you pulled the threads out. Then fast forward, I got married, and my husband moved me from where it was nice and warm to the Great White North in Minnesota.
Oh man, you went from Albuquerque to Minnesota?
Well, yes, basically.
Oh.
And I know. So we went to the state fair, and the St. Paul Needleworkers EGA was showing at the state fair. They had a little setup, and they gave me a card. They had, at that point in time, they had both day and night meetings, which is very unusual. Yeah. And I took my first group correspondence class with them, and they taught me to stitch on linen. A gal by the name of Linda Wyszynski was a member of that guild, and she's a designer, and she taught a counted canvas piece. And I remember when I was like, I can't do this, ladies. I only do cross stitch. And they said, I remember, never forget this. One lady said, can you thread a needle? And I said, yes. She said, can you make a knot on the end of your thread? I said, yes. She says, you're no longer a beginner. You're intermediate, and you can do this. And it was neon rays and all sorts of different specialty fibers that I'd never used before. And I never looked back. Counted canvas, I just love that.
I love that. Can you thread a needle? You're good. Let's go.
You're good. Well, if you've ever taught children to stitch, you know that that's the hardest part, is getting them, keeping their needles threaded, and helping them start and stop. Right. If you can do that, you are no longer really a beginner stitcher. You can be taught anything.
Yeah. See, and I still have to use a needle threader. I don't even try I get so frustrated trying to thread a needle, and I watch some people, they'll thread a needle like they're putting a hair through a chain link. It's just, how do you do that?
Well,
I can't do it.
And I'm known to do that too. I was teaching a class for our region, and we're using a little bit thicker threads. And some of the ladies, I got the biggest needles I thought that would work for them, and some of the ladies were having problems. I just come in and I just thread their needle for them. I don't know why. It's something I can do. But anyway.
2 needle threaders in reach at all times for me. Yep.
No, and I only use them when I'm beading.
Oh, yeah.
Then I need one for those needles.
So the EGA hooked you right in.
They did. I've been a member since 1990, and I love their correspondence courses. But when we started having children, it was harder to get to meetings. Yeah. And I loved it. It was A&G who did the first kind of things for people who couldn't attend seminars. Did you ever get the not attending seminar kit? Because you've been a member of A&G for a long time.
No, actually I haven't. Only 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Really?
No. Yeah.
All right. Well, oh goodness, I don't remember what year it was, but they used to have, you'd buy a kit, and it was not attending seminar kit, and you actually got a little pin to go with it. But I don't remember the first one I bought, but the second one was Prelude to Peace by Jim Worth. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he's the one that does those dodecagon things, right?
Yes. So that kit's still living in my basement. I'm not done. But then A&G moved to like an online course. Computers were just getting set up, and they went to Yahoo groups. Mm-hmm. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I remember taking 2 classes that way. One was with Orna Willis, and it was called, I think it was called Jerusalem 2000. And that was my first time to do a Jessica. Mm-hmm. And then I took David McCaskill's Backgrounds 1 class online that way. And I loved it because I had small children. I had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and at the time I was pregnant with my 3rd. I couldn't go.
Oh, jeez. You were just tired.
But you know what? I would get up. Where the computer was set up was in its own little room. I could go in there. I could log in. If I couldn't sleep, 4 o'clock in the morning, wouldn't disturb anyone. I could read the lessons when it was nice and quiet. Yeah. I could stitch on pieces that way. And then I heard about Shining Needle Society and their class. And that was bad because that's how I got hooked on Gay Ann Rogers. Because that's how she started offering her classes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's right off the deep end right there. Yep.
Yeah. And I love it that EGA is offering the different classes now, that the group correspondence classes are great, that they have the lightning rounds, but because before you had to wait until you could gather enough students to do one of those classes. You needed at least 10 to make it, kind of worthwhile. Uh-huh. And so now that you can just sign up whenever they offer them. That is just really super nice.
Yeah, I think they're doing a bang up job at EGA. I really do. You pointed out to me here the Curdy Biggs, the new one, online class, Creme de la Creme box.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man. You sent me that picture. It's like, oh, no, stop it. Stop it.
I know. And it's not so much the stitches. I mean, because we can do those stitches.
Right.
It's the box.
Yep.
Isn't that, how does she make, I'm sure it's not that hard, but you make it into a box. And I like that. I like the construction of making those sort of things.
Yep. Yeah, no, that picture popped up on my screen. I go, oh, no. Jeez.
No.
I want that one. Yeah, no, EGA is, I really do. Just flat out honest, really think they're doing a whale of a job of providing a variety and keeping a good stream of things going. I really do.
Right.
So
And they are pushing needlework as art. I know
right.
A&G, I think their thing is it's got to be on a counted ground, with a needle and thread. EGA is anything that you use a needle and thread, something that you thread. So I don't know if you've looked through the Fiber Forum pictures, the gallery.
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
I know some of those are not my cup of tea, but some of them I'm like, oh, what you did with needle and thread.
Yep.
That is amazing. That is truly art.
Yep. No, I say if you go to the EGA site and you go to the gallery thing, make darn sure you have a stretch of time ahead of you, because you're stuck. You're just stuck. Yeah.
It is.
It's really amazing. But no, you're exactly right. It's the breadth of needlework as art is exactly what you get out of that. I'm not interested in this, but look over here. Look at this. This interests me. And that's where I really think they stand out, is they're really presenting the greater picture. And that's, to me, that just brings in the broad group of people and all interests and all options. And that's just excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. I've learned so much by being a member of an EGA group. My local chapter is known for, it hasn't for a while, but it used to have a lot more workshops where we have national teachers. We had Judy Geroy come and teach. They had Jane, what is her last name? I can't think of it. I think she's from Australia.
Nicholas?
Yes. She came and taught here. So, and it's nice if you live in you have an EGA near you who does get national teachers to come and teach. It's online is nice, if you can't travel, but taking with a national teacher, you learn so much in a classroom setting.
Yeah. There's no substitute for that. Learning not just from the teacher, but from each other.
Right.
There's nothing substitutes for that. But for so many, it's just not even an option. And these days, for even many more, it's not an option. The online thing helps. But sitting in a room, you got to be kidding me. There's nothing beats that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the online is like I said. I mean, once they started offering it, I was taking classes because I wanted to learn more. And that was the only way I could do it. I couldn't afford or travel with small children to a national seminar to take classes with a national teacher.
Right.
I even couldn't take them locally. I would sign up and just end up with the kids because I couldn't make it, to take classes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's just it. You go through that phase of life where, exactly. You aren't going far. And even if you do, to take the kids, the expense just kills you. And
Right.
Yeah. And you really, even if you were to go and take the kids, it's difficult to just relax and enjoy because you're always worried about the kids. What are they doing? Are they okay?
Right.
Yeah. I need to get out of here quickly because I got to go see what the kids are doing. Yeah. It's
right.
It's tough. Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
So, yeah. No, that's, they're just doing a bang up job there. And, what was the other? Loretta Salt. I really enjoyed talking to her. We did the interview a long time ago with her, but now she's got a new one out too. What is that?
I can't pronounce the name, but it's the Yellowstone window.
Yeah, Awani, I think. Is that right?
And I'm trying to resist that one because I have two of her pieces in my basement. One I worked on and I made a mistake, and so I have to totally trash the canvas and start again. It was Frozen Reflections.
Oh, yes.
And my compensation is off, and I'm just, I can't fix it. I just need to start again.
Oh. Yeah, she has, that's just, charted canvas people get lumped into geometric, everything's the same, just different colors. And it's just simply not the case. And she is a classic example of not the case at all. Her stuff is so unique.
Yes.
Every one of them. I mean, she really, to me, stretches the boundaries of what you can do and finds new ways. And it's so much fun to look at her stuff. I've never done one of hers. I assume instructions are clear and the whole shoot and match.
Loretta's instructions are good. I think it was operator error. You had to make, on the frozen reflections, you were making a circle or a half circle. I can't remember. And, compensating a circle on canvas is hard.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of compensation going on. And I got off somewhere and I didn't like how it was turning out. Yeah, so it has to be brilliant. But her instructions were very good.
Uh-huh.
They were very clear.
Yeah. Well, she does some really unique stuff. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. You get off and then I hate it when you get off and then you realize it's been a while and you've been off all this time. And it's like, oh, geez.
And I kept thinking I could fix it because it is a little bit more freeform, and it just didn't work. I was like, okay, just start again. Start again. It's not worth it.
And that's hard. That's hard to do, even if you like the piece. If you're well into it, and then you realize you basically got to trash it and start over, it's hard to rekindle that enthusiasm. I don't know why that is. Ground already covered, and I don't want to do it again, kind of thing, I guess.
And I'm notorious in my guild. I normally do, if we do a piece, a lot of times I'll stitch it 2 or 3 times, especially if I end up teaching it. So I just like to see how it looks in a different colorway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
but that's different. That's a different thing. Because now you're testing new ground, same design, but does the colorway work or how do I adjust it? Yeah.
Right.
But to have to go right back over and do the same thing you just did, that's hard. That's hard.
Right. Oh, terrible.
Force yourself to get back to the point where you stopped, and then it's fresh again. Yeah.
Right. And pray you don't make that same mistake again.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh no, I don't want to be here again.
Yeah. Yeah. How pathetic am I? I can't even get it right the second time. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, horrible.
Have to talk about you mentioned Gay Ann Rogers earlier.
Yes.
Her new hearts.
Oh, I must add them to my stash. I have quite a few of her hearts. Let's just put it that way. And they are so much fun to stitch. And those new ones, the colors, I know, in fact, I probably would stitch them fairly quickly because I don't normally know where I'm going to place my stitching when I'm done with it, but those, they have a home already.
Yeah. Yeah, those hearts. Yeah, well, she took the song America, right. And then there's 4 of them with different verses, and they're all on Congress cloth. Now, if you do Gay Ann Rogers, it's on Congress cloth, and she sends you a kit. You buy kits. She does the kits. You don't buy the charts and then do your own kit. She sends you a kit because she wants to make sure you have the right threads and the right amount of threads and all the things. Her kits are spectacular. It's not, you'll never regret it, believe me.
No, and I've never run out. I've done several of her kits. I don't think I've ever run out of thread on one of her kits.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. No, she makes sure. Well, she understands. Nobody wants to scrimp on threads just to get something to work out. No. So she makes sure that you have enough. But instructions, spot on. Congress cloth. Now, you do stitch on Congress cloth. That's her ground cloth, Congress cloth. So, but even that, big deal. Still a grid.
No. No, and what I liked about those is they're definitely Gay Ann Rogers, but they're different from what she's done before.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of this. They just look different, and they're not, even though it's from the song America, they're not like just red, white, and blue.
No.
Which I like red, white, and blue things, but it looks very classy. They look classy.
Yeah, no, that's just it. Yeah, it's not exactly that, because each phrase, amber waves of grain, I think is one of them.
Right.
And so there's a field look to it, and so you get those grass colors. And no, that's just it. She's, yeah,
and for someone who's never done a Gayan, she's into layers. So you think, oh, this will be a quick stitch. And they are fairly quick, but you stitch one, you put one layer down, and then you add another layer on top of it, and then another layer maybe. And that's how she gets the effect she's looking for. And that's what it makes it fun to stitch. The stitches in and of themselves are not difficult.
No.
But she just uses them in a way that it's just fabulous. There's no other word for it.
Yeah, what Jane Wood said to me one time, that technically there's nothing difficult about Gayan Rogers designs, any of them, but your technique, to
right.
really get them, your technique has to be good.
Right.
Yeah, but in terms of the stitches she requires you to do, no, nothing.
And I remember doing like the Elizabeth face that I did. If you didn't get your tension right, it looked like Elizabeth had pimples. So, and you didn't want that effect on her. So that's what, when you say it's all about technique, it was just basket weave. It wasn't technically difficult, air quotes on that one. But again, when you do it correctly, it's just stunning. They just come out so nice.
Yeah. So
those hearts are so much fun to display. They just are.
Well, they finish in the pictures. They finish up so nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have: Amber Waves, Purple Mountains, Sea to Shining Sea, and America, America. Are the things. And then, so Amber Waves, so here's, I just have the prices here. She sent them to me. So Amber Waves, the kit is $68, and this includes shipping. So shipping is part of this price. So 68 for Amber Waves, 68 for Purple Mountain, 64 for Sea to Shining Sea, and 58 for America, America. And then if you get all four, it's $243. So you save $15. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. And like I said, I think her kit, what's nice about her kits is you're not having to buy the whole, she uses a Verissois.
Right.
And she uses other things too. Sometimes she just uses floss, or whatever. She uses Krynet. You're not buying the whole skein of floss.
No.
You're just getting what you need. And not plenty. You're getting plenty, but so you're not having to pay for all the extra thread. And her instructions, I haven't finished it yet, but I worked on, she says it's one of her most complicated designs, called Drawn Thread Sampler, where you pull out the threads. And she hesitated to offer it as a kit because she said it was such a difficult. Her instructions on that, the one she said that was a class, are perfect. You can work from her instructions. There's not any problem with that. So that's the nice thing about her instructions, her charts. They're beautiful. They're clear. There's no mistakes.
Right.
And, it's so clear.
Yep. Yeah, no, she's just one of the best by far, and so unique. And so watch for her sale. Now, she has a different business model from most. She makes up X number of kits, and then when they're gone, they're gone. So, and I was trying to find it, and just GayanRogers.com. I'm pretty sure the sale is on the 22nd of July. And, I thought I had it in my head, but I don't have it in my head. Pretty sure it's the 22nd of July. So, but just GayanRogers.com, and I'll post it and mention it on the live shows. We have time, so that you get that. But you want to be there. It's California time. So make sure if you're not in California, make sure that you watch your time, that she has it, and then you order the kit, and then when the kits are gone, that's it. Then she'll be done with that one, because the reason she does it that way is she just doesn't want to spend her entire life mailing things. So she does a sale, she sells out the thing, she gets them mailed, and then she's done with it. And like she said, I want to stitch. So,
right.
So right. You have to act quick, because her stuff does go very fast. But she expressed to me that it looked like she was going to get many more kits than she had originally planned on, because already the response had been the interest level had been quite high in these hearts. So I'm sure she'll make sure she has plenty, but that doesn't mean take your time, because if you wait a couple days, chances are you'll be out of luck.
That's right. And she sells out, and I can't blame her. Making kits is just a pain,
right?
To kit something up for people, and to kit that many.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah. But yes, they're just gorgeous. I just love them. So, and the other thing they can do is they can sign up for her newsletter. She does have a newsletter where she'll announce that when she's going to start her sale and all the information. If you don't go to her webpage, then you get kind of a little advance notice.
Right. And a Facebook page. She has a Facebook page, so you can follow her. It's not too hard to follow her. And but these, if you like doing small things or want to try some kind of canvas work and come up with some really terrific results, these hearts would be a way to do it. Yeah. And that's, she makes me mad because it's really hard. So I thought, all right, I want to buy this one and then this one. Well, actually, I want all four.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where, geez, I can't choose one. Now I got to have the whole set.
You're talking to the wrong person, Gary.
I know.
She asked me at one point, she said, how many hearts of mine do you have? And so she said, I went and scurried and I counted. I said, I think the only one I'm missing from, she did the crown jewels. I missed one from that set. I showed restraint, and I regret it to this day that I don't have that one in my stash.
Yep. Yeah. She's one of those that if you hesitate, you may not get another chance.
Right.
Because she doesn't offer everything every time. She makes a selection for her sales of things she's going to offer, because those are the ones she's going to kit up. And then that's it. And some of her designs will never happen again because she can't get the beads or the jewels that she designed with. So they're just not going to happen again. And so it's one of those where, you really have to jump in when you have the chance, because, I have, a couple 3 kits that I have not even stitched, but I bought them because, I just feared that I would never have another shot. And,
and I always, the other thing I did was I was not going to stitch any of the other queens. So I didn't get when Catherine came out. And then someone in our guild stitched Catherine, and I saw her in person. And I thought, oh, no. And then whenever she came out with a new queen, I just ordered it. I thought, too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
It'll live in my stash. And then when she offered them again for the last time, I did get one. But they're beautiful. The kits are beautiful. The instructions are beautiful. She explains, why she's using what she's using sometimes in her kit. I miss her. Like I said, she used to have a Yahoo group, and she does have a groups IO. What's that called? I don't know, but it's not active. No one asks any questions. She doesn't get on it. It's probably too busy.
Yeah.
But I miss that. I miss that interaction with her because she was always fabulous about helping you through a problem area.
Yep. Well, yeah, if you want to listen to Gay-Ann Rogers and get a look into her mind as a designer, just go to the Fiber Talk website and just put in Gay-Ann Rogers. I've done 3 of them or 4 of them. I forget. But every one of them will just riveting what comes out of her mouth, out of her head, in terms of what goes into design and how you understand what colors do and how they don't do it. And she's one of those, you just sit in a room, just start talking, Gay-Ann. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she, what I liked too is that she always encourages you to experiment.
Yes.
Too,
Yep.
So, it's fabulous.
Oh, she's a tremendous lady. So check that out. Get on the newsletter, get to her website, those hearts. And you're right. I don't own any of her hearts. But every time I see a heart design from her, because you see other people do heart designs.
Right.
But no, not like this. These are
No.
a different level, a different approach. Her heart stuff is just amazing. What she can get out of it, that shape is really something.
Yes. Because it is a harder shape to design something. And I just, when she did the queens and she had like my kids call them the headless hearts, because that's what they look like. But they're fabulous with the jewels on them. So yes, don't buy her kit until I get mine, and then you all can buy as many as you want.
Yeah.
After I get mine, you guys can order yours.
Best rule: wait for me. Yep.
Wait for me.
So
I'm gonna be on there when she starts.
Yep. So doing one of those queens, they're beautiful. I'll never stitch one because I just have no interest. But they're stunning, and I've always said I've never seen anybody do faces like she does faces.
Yes.
I have no idea what goes into that, but it blows my mind every time I see them, because most faces just look chunky and unnatural and forced.
Right.
And hers just look natural.
They do. And that was it. Like she said, just put them in, just start stitching. And that is why when you look at them, when you're stitching them, you'll say something, and it's because maybe the angle of just one little thread of like where the eye is a little off. So you have to take that out maybe, or kind of wiggle with it a little bit so the eye looks right. But it's like maybe 1 or 2 stitches is all you've put in. So you've got to get them right, or it looks like your queen is doing something funky,
Well, that was the thing. The last time I think it was the last show, she was talking about that, in that any one of the things is rarely more than a couple of stitches, any one of the features in a face. And so, yeah, if your technique is off at all, you don't have much to work with.
No.
So in doing the queen, they seem like a long project. Is it one of those things where you start and you realize it's going to be 2 or 3 years, or do you feel like you can go through it pretty well if you stay after it?
I think I'm not a stay at it kind of gal, so maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. But I think what she suggested on her big pieces, and this is a suggestion she puts, she says for any sort of stitching like this, you start on the face to get it in, so that way that's right. But then you've got a huge background to put in, and it's 3 layers generally of background on those queens. So if you measure up, you get your face in, you find out where the background starts, count it carefully, you start working that background. So let's say you're just brain dead and you do not want to think about putting in, like we had to do on the queen, needed to detach buttonholes. Those, you needed to have your tension right, whatever. Maybe you didn't want to work on that, so you worked on the background. And that gave you it kind of gave you that balance. Some people got it done in a couple of months. I never finish anything in a couple of months, so in fact, I know my Jerusalem 2000 piece from Orna Willis, I think the date on it is 2006.
Yeah, there's someone we haven't heard from in quite a while, Orna Willis. She just put up a new design here just 3 days ago. I've done a couple shows with her. There's someone else who has a real unique approach to design and color.
Yes.
That is really, really fun to look at, to me.
Yeah, the Jerusalem piece, people were like, and that was one of the first times I worked with, I'd worked with silk before, stranded silk, but not the Tresbon, which she uses a lot. And some of the colors were just wild, and it kind of made you hesitate a little bit, but it does look great together. She's got an interesting color sense. Things you wouldn't think work.
Yep. Yeah, she really does, and they're full, dense designs, but they don't look it to me. I don't know. I just really like her stuff. And when she popped up the other day, holy smokes, haven't heard from Orna in a long time.
Right.
And there it is. Thank you, Orna.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to resist. It's very hard.
Yeah.
But yes. So yeah, it was interesting. She had a piece called Square Dance that I did where you had to attach tiny pieces of ultra suede to the piece. Mm-hmm. And she made you make your own decisions on it. You kind of were deciding where you were placing your stitches and where you put the ultra suede down, the colors, in whatever colorway you did. Mm-hmm. If I remember that piece correctly. And so she, again, I think she tries to make her stitchers stretch a little in their design and how they just not just up at 1, down at 2. You could do that. She gives you that option, but she also gives you the option of trying to stretch a little bit, which I like.
Yeah, I did a class with her. I never finished the piece. Don't know why, because I liked it, but I never finished it. I just never did. But she did a class where she designed. You started out with a blank slate, and she designed it as we went along.
Wow. And
so, there were several false starts. Not several. I mean, there were a few false starts where, no, that didn't work. Take it out and do this. And that was really fun and instructive because you got to see the process live, as live as possible. And experiencing that and seeing what a designer of her caliber can do and how she sees things and then doesn't like it and goes this direction and makes it all come together. And that was so much fun. And of course, the instructions, everything were spot on, perfect all the way through. But that was fun for me, just in seeing what goes on in the mind, seeing the work process as she developed the design. And don't know why I never finished it, because it's probably 60% done. I should just finish the thing,
You get distracted, another shiny object.
Right, yeah. But yeah, so I was really glad to hear from her because it's been a while. Because she moved, they built a house and she moved, and I think she goes to Israel for extended stays every year, and she's raising. She's got a kid, and all those things. So I'm sure that if you stay right on top of it, yeah, she's other than needlework, she has things. So
right.
But yeah, she's quite a talent too. There's just so many of them. So many of them.
There are.
Yeah. Yep. I think so. Let's call it right there.
We're going to call it?
I think we're going to call it.
It's good talking to you, Gary.
Yeah, it's been fun. Yay. First time. Outstanding. All right. So tonight is 8 o'clock Eastern, live on the YouTuber, the Fiber Talk channel, YouTube channel, will be the Fiber Talk Stitch Hour and Barbara Grimm. I knew I was going to do that. Barbara Hudson. We have. I used to work with a salesman who lived in the East named Barbara Grimm, and every time I have to stop when I think of Barbara Hudson and say, "All right, don't say Barbara Grimm," and then of course I said it. So Barbara Hudson will be here. It'll be a Hannah show because there are more Hannahs than Hannah Longstreth. And we'll talk about stitching Hannah Longstreth. So that's tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on the YouTube channel for Fiber Talk. And then Friday night, we will be here for a Friday Night Live. Guests to be determined. Beth Lindsay Sunday. Beth, it was fun. Thanks.
It was fun. Thanks, Gary.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening.